Oh, how we doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Friday, final day of the week. We are ready for a weekend. We deserve it after the, the shit weather we've had. There's some snow and some rain and some cold and some rain and some snow and some rain and some cold and some rain. But today, though,
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
That's right.
Feel the vibes radiating, boys. Just
feel it.
It's too hot for jeans here.
Yeah.
Too hot for pants, Rhett. That's a Friday policy for some.
We can't all live in Buffalo. I mean, it's everyone's dream. It's everyone's life and end goal.
There's only so many homes there. You can't. Not everyone could be in Buffalo. There's capacity.
Things up with a nice little few years, whiling away the time in beautiful Buffalo. But we're not all so blessed,
right?
As thou.
The Buffalo, yeah. Edmonton of America. That's what they call it.
Yeah. I'll take Calgary. It'll be all right. We'll be all right. Game 7. So 7. You said no, right? You.
Which one of us?
Like you said no to a 7.
I thought Boston would win.
Yeah.
And you picked Toronto to win the series. You
picked Toronto to win the series.
Both side of the fencer.
Yeah. They did not start well.
Ooh.
They did not.
Shots were like 15-1 or something stupid.
Yeah. They didn't play particularly well, to be quite honest.
Second half, they were
a couple of games.
They were all right, but a couple slow starts. Margin for error. Hey, it's pretty tight. Puck goes in off your defenseman's pants and in, and now it's 1-0, and then a little breakdown, and it's 2-0. And
at the other end, it's just toenails and edges of pads and just grazing a guy and going wide. It's nothing more tense than an elimination game where it's like lockdown 0-0 as late as it was. Last minute of the second, like, whoo.
You liked as the game went on, you liked them though?
Who's that?
Austin?
Yeah.
No, I thought they kind of took over.
They took over in the second half.
Yeah.
Shot attempts, they were like double the Leafs in the second half of the game. After getting absolutely, they didn't get a shot at even strength for 25 minutes. So
I missed the first period. So it was like, this is a one-sided affair. And then I slowly saw Boston start to, okay, here they come a little bit. Here they come. Yeah. I mean, it's 1-0. Well, ends up 2-0, but it's a 1-0 game.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting.
Ends up being 2-1, Red. Many people didn't see that. It was
I did not see that.
Game over celebration 2-0, and then they had to review it. And with 0.1 seconds left, there was a Boston goal.
1. So the Toronto minus 1.5 bettors. Yeah, the Toronto minus 1.5 bettors are like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah,
you bastards.
The Joseph Woll shutout would have been a very large number. That's a bad beat right there.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. It's like, guys, could you? It's like Wolf. One of the final games there. Do you want to play to the whistle, or do you want to just finish this out, or just fuck?
What was that? 8 seconds?
Just whatever. I guess just quit. Just stop. Game's over.
Or just get to game 7. Who cares about this shit anyway, Dino? We got a game 7. We're begging 1 for 1. We got 1.
Yeah. I like the stink eye that Swayman gave McAvoy on the first goal. It's quick. We can take a look at it here. Here's the sounds. Toronto was critiqued and criticized for having dead crowds in games 3 and 4. I don't know if that's,
to be fair, they played like shit, so they didn't have a lot to cheer about.
Fair enough. They were into it last night. Off the pants and in for Willie on the first goal, and Swayman's not digging it.
What are you doing?
Go quit it now. You stop it. Hey.
But just stop though too. I think he's awesome. Like, I'm not a Leafs fan, but you can clearly see the talent. He fluked the fucking goal.
Oh,
that
sure.
One, yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're
100% McAvoy fan.
Going back and forth. Beecher's actually doing a pretty good job of covering him. He's pushed him to the outside and given him a wrister from
beyond the top of the circle.
The shot they allow is a very, very good one to allow, given all the spots that Nylander was in.
And the reason I bring it up, because I was watching my kid play Team Sweden before this game. Anyway, and I'm like, this is a very teachable moment, because young kids, they're always trying to get the puck. I got to get the puck. Puck. And it's like, how about you play the body and keep him to the outside? Eventually, he's going to spin himself into a corner or take a shot, and then you recover. And I was actually thinking while watching that play, that's pretty good coverage against one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
You've got him pushed to the outside. You're not overcommitting. It goes in the net, obviously, and then it goes, and you're like, well, I guess I can't use that clip.
What's the probability that shot goes in if you have 100 from there?
even McAvoy standing there is typically going to stop that, right?
And if it goes off of his pants, how often is it going to go into the top corner the other way? It's
that's an incredibly low probability chance. It's the exact type of shot you want to surrender because they almost never go in unless someone makes a mistake. Charlie McAvoy.
That's a playoff. So you know what? I saw that one and ends up. I thought it was going. There's your game-winning goal, except they scored late. Much like the goal against Vancouver the other night. Really kind of shot from just inside the blue line. Doesn't seem to be dangerous. Again, you've pushed him out. You'll give up that shot. Finds a way. Game over. Going on to Nashville. The second goal that Nylander scored, a little more skill involved for sure. But the play by Nyes off the wall is a hell of a play, and they were very excited.
That is so filthy.
So looks like that game in Buffalo with all the Leaf fans.
Okay, that defenseman cheated. He knew that guy Nylander was gonna have a breakaway, and he got stuck. He didn't know what to do. That guy trying to finish the check. That's a shitty play by that guy.
Again. Is that McAvoy again? 73.
Jeez. He cheated and he was too lazy at right there. He knows right there. He knows he can't go.
It's a 2-on-1. You can't play
2-on-1.
So just pivot and head back. Start.
And he was lazy and thought he could cheat it. Accepts the rush.
Just right there.
Yeah.
Pivot. Those two are going to be fast enough to get back to push on a back pressure. I'm looking for Boston. Like, we're really breaking down game field.
I know.
Oh, geez, wow.
Look at us, right? Like
I'm not sure if that guy's catching Nylander if he cuts in anyway. Is he?
Yeah, maybe not. No. But you're going to buy time. I'm actually thinking if he can catch Nyes, but anyway, I thought that was a piss poor play by McAvoy again. Going, effing well. All that guy, he makes a nice turn and spin, puts it right.
Watching it again, breaking it down. If now McAvoy
pivots,
and he's going to start coming back in, Nyes is probably just going to pick this up and skate it in and try
a
2-on-1.
I'd rather 2-on-1 than a breakaway for Nylander. He's seeing it. He's seeing it right now. That's Charlie McAvoy. That's not some schlep playing junior hockey, right?
Yes.
You tell me he can't see that there's another Leaf player that's busted loose? He absolutely knows. That's a bad play.
Yeah, it's a bad read.
And a good play.
It's a great play by Nyes because that's
game 5.
Yeah.
Good player.
Feels like we're doing Leaf show here. Sorry to all the Leaf haters.
Well, you know what it is. If we talk about the Oilers, you guys, I just talk about the Oilers. Then you talk about the Leaf. I do talk about it. Like, I got news for you. The Flames haven't played for fucking
the Flames,
2 weeks here.
Hey, if the Flames wanted to play a playoff game or two,
we'd talk
about it.
We'll
probably talk about it right now. RFN.
Yeah.
And this is now going to be very Leafsy, I guess. But there was the one, it's a crowd shot. And you listen to, and I want the volume to listen how it's not just the Leaf fans, it's every fan. When you're in a playoff atmosphere, which is why it kills you right now to not be part of this shit. Listen to how quiet the crowd gets right before it's like they're excited. Here it comes. And then there's that pause. You can just hear everybody taking a breath.
Gasp.
And then obviously the explosion. Right? Like everybody's just puckered right tight. Rah. Playoffs. God damn it, eh? There's a moment. We've talked about it. Give us a moment. We'd love a moment. Some kid went to the game. That's a moment. I was at the one with, and who knows if they lose in 7 again, then that's not going to be a great moment. But
it's a moment for sure.
Pretty cool. Again, it helps not having a rooting interest for sure. Because I don't. I guess for Tree it might, whatever. And I just think there's more. There's always more. I don't know. You need the villain. You need the black hat. You need to have somebody to get emotion going where it wouldn't be otherwise. And the Leafs kind of do that, whether it's because you have fans in your office or your uncle is one and you can't handle his texts after they win or whatever it is. They elicit emotion where there may not be otherwise.
And so now we get the perfect storyline set up. The Bruins either blow 3-1 leads for back-to-back years. No other pro sports team in North American history has done that. or the Leafs lose like a 7th game 7 in a row or something hilarious. Like, this is unbelievable. No matter what happens, we are like juicy storylines. This is perfect outcome, boys.
Yeah. 6th game 7 between Toronto, Boston. Toronto has won one of them back in 59. Remember it well.
Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah. Yeah. First team NBA, NHL, MLB to blow 3-1 series leads in back-to-back seasons. Or the Leafs are going to lose a 6th straight game 7.
Just wild. Wild. Okay, now I found this. This is crazy. Do we notice a pattern when it's Leafs and Bruins? 2013, this is the epic game 7 collapse for Toronto. Boston, Toronto, Boston, Boston, Toronto, Toronto, Boston. 2018, which was the core 4, we're going to do it. Boston, Toronto, Boston, Boston, Toronto, Toronto, Boston. Exact same pattern every bleeping year. So if the pattern holds, it's Boston in game 7. But is that not nutty to think it could play out that way?
Unbelievable.
And the other part is, too, for Boston, it's not as though, because we kind of joked about, did they plant the seed? Is this something now? There's some history for Boston here now, too.
They've screwed things up a lot. And like,
they've lost 6 series clinching games going back to 2022. Chances to shut things down, and they have not done it.
And I know that every year it's a different team and you're different players. If you look at the history of Boston over the last 20 years, they've had a ton of success, but they have also had massive screw-ups. Huge.
Let me support you on that. Since they won the cup in 2011 against Vancouver, they have the best regular season record in the NHL. That's like 13, 14 seasons, something like that. It's incredible. They're the only team out of the top 6 over that span that has not won a cup.
They lost game 7 last year to the Panthers after being up 3-1. They lost game 7 in Raleigh to the Hurricanes in 2022.
That's the conference final. If I'm
they
correct.
Lost game 7 at home to the Blues for the cup in 2019.
After having a chance,
right?
They were up 3-2.
So does it matter? Does it have any bearing?
No, further back.
But it's
they screwed up against Chicago. They had the cup in hand.
When you look at that group, that's Chara, Marchand, Bergeron, you add Pasternak, McAvoy comes in. You've gone from,
was there.
Well, sure, and you've gone from Vezina goalie to Vezina goalie when you go from like Thomas to Rask. Ullmark wins it last year. Swayman this year. Like, to think with that core, there's going to be a bunch of Hall of Famers. 1 cup, that's it.
It's hard to
win. That's like a decade plus with a lot of those guys. When you talk about that core of Chara, Bergeron, Krejci, Marchand, McAvoy, like 1. I mean, Toronto's been painted as the biggest chokers ever, and I get it because they've 9 years in a row they have 1 series win. But you're going to look back at this Boston group, like, how did they only win 1 there with all those Hall of Famers?
Yeah, there's going to be some broken hearts on Saturday night.
I love it. It's perfect.
Some broken hearts. Might be the guy from this. Now, of course, there's nothing like a home broadcast.
Oh,
there's nothing like a home broadcast.
I'm like a homer.
And, Joe Bowen, love him. He is one of the guys I think is the very best right now. You talk about getting emotion and adding to the excitement of the game. Here was JB last night at the mic for the Leafs.
Yeah, Joe Bowen's going to line up at left wing. We're going to do it. We're finishing it.
Yeah, Joe's having protein shakes, getting his afternoon naps in because they're going to do it this time. They are going to do it. But it does set things up, and we've now got 1 game 7. Who knows? We'll talk about the other 2 more chances tonight, coming up. Bring into the program, as we always do on a Friday, our buddy TSN hockey insider Darren Dreger, who now I know on the afternoon we talked to McLennan. They got Kevin Hayes. He wasn't allowed to go to the game last night because every time he goes to a game they lose, and if he stays away they win. So now what about you? Do you have something similar? You said you kind of have season tickets or whatever. Did you stay away or did you go, or where were you for this one?
No, stuck in studio. That's my role. I'm stuck in studio trying to manage the likes of O'Neill. And last night it was Mike Johnson. And, James Duthie is the star. So he just comes in out of his dressing room right before airtime and leaves me to mind the zoo, right? Like, just keep the animals in check. So no, I didn't get there. And it'll be curious. Like, Hayes is a card-carrying member of Leafs Nation. He makes no apologies about that. I mean, if you've listened to him on radio, on Overdrive, to some degree, O-Dog is as well, but at least he's, got the eye for, cutting analysis when needed. So now that, Toronto ended the home ice curse, I bet that Hayes probably isn't welcome in the building anytime soon.
Perfect. Yeah. It's like, well, it's over now. I can go back to the games. No, you cannot go back to the games.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
We were just kind of running through it. There's plenty of history, and it's very clear, and it's out there wherever you want to find it. How this has gone for the Leafs. They've not fared well against Boston in must-win situations, but we were talking. Boston's got their own share of heartbreak here. Going back, as you go to the 2019 Cup final, they lose. They lost Game 7 to Raleigh. They lost Game 7 last year. Blown 3-1 leads. This would be the first team ever in basically the pro sports to blow back-to-back 3-1 leads. I wonder. I wasn't necessarily buying it before last night. Maybe kind of buying that there might be some mental baggage there for this Boston team.
I think that's fair. And go back to earlier in the series when they're up 3-1, and obviously the line of questioning takes you back to last year when they were up 3-1 to Florida, end up losing, as you've articulated here in that Game 7. And Brad Marchand and company, the players, didn't want to have anything to do with talking about it at that point. It's ancient history. We're just worried about closing the series in the future. And Jim Montgomery, until last night, was at least willing to use it as ammunition, to try and keep his guys in check and as motivated as they need to be. And then last night post-game, he wasn't quite as ornery post-Game 6 as he was Game 5. And he talked about that. Game 5, they just were outplayed. For the most part of Game 6, certainly the first half of Game 6, they were wildly outplayed and kept in check. And he wasn't willing to look at Game 7 other than, okay, obviously that's the task at hand. I'm not worrying about what has just happened. We lost 5, we lost 6. Now the series is tied at 3. They're wound tight. They are. And, I just wonder, it's pretty obvious your best players need to be their best. Like, that's cliche. We talk about that every single year going into the playoffs. Yeah, thanks. But it just seems like there's another layer of tension around this club, whether that's been employed by Montgomery or whether that's just coming from the group and coming from within. But then again, last night, and I feel like Montgomery's getting headlined a little bit here, because I think it was Fluto who wrote the piece about where's David Pastrnak, and then identified that, Montgomery called him out. Well, Montgomery, said that Pasta needs to step up. That was the end of an answer where the reporter specifically asked about Pastrnak and David Marchand. It's not like he went out of his way to throw his star player under the bus. He just acknowledged the obvious here. But tell you, as much heat, guys, as there's on the Toronto Maple Leafs, Sheldon Keefe's job, the core of the Maple Leafs, you could be having a similar conversation with what's going on in Boston. Right?
I thought it was
3-1 losses.
I thought that was an interesting segment. To your point about things being tense with Boston, where Marchand's kind of sideways on the bench, and I think we probably all saw that. And Montgomery's really kind of laying into him and laying into other guys, and they cut away, and then they go back to Montgomery, and he's almost vibrating. Like, you can see him kind of.
Oh, his wires touch.
That's a great. You used it with Kyprios last week. That's a great. I'm stealing that. His wires were touching for sure. Which generally it's the coach. We're right where we want to be. It's a scoreless game. There's no worry here. We're fine. And they did not look fine. And then they lose. It's maybe too coincidental and too mainstream media-esque to kind of connect those dots. But I was surprised. I was like, wow, I wouldn't have thought Montgomery would be in that spot in a 0-0 game where you can win the series tonight if you get a goal here.
Yeah.
Do you foresee Austin Matthews returning for Game 7 or not? Does it matter? And then also, the Bruins started the series alternating goalies, abandoned that, and it's gone worse for them since they abandoned the alternating. It's not that swimming's been a problem.
No. And look, if we stick with the goalies here for a moment, I mean, that's by design in terms of, Montgomery made this clear several weeks ago. Okay, we're alternating until we get into the playoffs. Then we'll take 3 or 4 games and we'll make a call on who we think has the hotter hand. Historically, it has been Swayman versus Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs versus Ullmark, not quite as flattering. So maybe that factored into the decision. I mean, I don't know how much more Jeremy Swayman can do. I mean, without run support, what are they supposed to? What's the goalie supposed to do? In fact, the first Nylander goal, I thought, by the way, Charlie McAvoy was lights out good. I mean, he was the best Bruin last night, and he got unlucky on the first Nylander goal. The puck went off his knee and over Swayman. And what do? I mean, you just have to find a way to adjust.
What about the second goal? Because that's twice where his theoretical errors lead directly to goals.
Yeah. I guess, and Rhett, maybe you can analyze this better than I can. For Willie Nylander to have this much space, and in fairness, it's a real nice play, a pretty crafty play by Matthew Nyes of the Maple Leafs, who's had a real nice series to this point, where he uses his big body to protect the puck and then just shovels it out with Nylander on the fly, bucking through the neutral zone across the offensive blue line.
Well, we can get our telestrator out. Rhett can use our telestrator, which we don't have. But we were discussing this. It was right about here, Retro, kind of, because
I think that he makes a mistake. I think he reads this and he says, "Screw it, I'm going to cheat for it anyway." And under the circumstances, with 2 minutes left, you might be thinking, "We've got to push." Get that part of it, but I still think it's a mistake. Yes, all he has to do is chip it by him,
right?
And Nylander skating into it. Like I just think. Yeah. Anyway, I could.
Right,
I was watching it, and I'm like, "Oh, he's going to cheat it. He's going to." And you're like, "Oh boy, if he makes the play, you're probably thinking, great job. At least we're going for it." But
I look, I know nothing about coaching in the National Hockey League, so I'm not going to jump on my soapbox here and be overly critical of Jim Montgomery. I watch a lot of Bruins games because a buddy of mine, his son plays for the Bruins, so I've got vested interest in watching this. Not playing now. Matty Poitras is a kid, right? He played the first half and then went to play for Canada and wrecked his shoulder and had surgery, and the rest is history. So what I know about Montgomery, he's got the short leash, and he makes line adjustments minute by minute, not period by period. Like the minute, I know you're playing center. Oh, hold on a sec. I didn't like the look of that. No, you move from the wing and you're playing center now. Like that's kind of how he does it. And he maybe is now victim of overthinking. And if you go into game 5, it doesn't seem like much, but he takes an experienced guy like Kevin Shattenkirk out of the lineup, puts in Grzelcyk, and takes out Johnny Beecher, who's a 6'3.5", 220-pound centerman, who's pretty good in faceoffs. Yeah, I know he's a fourth-line player. But he made a bunch of adjustments that probably in hindsight he maybe wouldn't do. So then they had to collect themselves. Shattenkirk comes in for game 6. Grzelcyk's gone. Beecher comes back in. I mean, the outcome is still the same, but I think that there's a growing level of frustration among the player group with how things are being managed too.
Two things. It's fine when it works, and you only lose by 1. So you're like, damn it. Like, was it this coaching or the overcoaching or what, or was it just circumstance? And if you win game 7, it's all forgot. But I guess more importantly for me, thoughts on Pastrnak, because there's a guy that needs to get it done and hasn't.
And has historically against Toronto. So again, because I watch so many Bruins games, if you watch this guy play, you're in awe, because of the shot, the goals that he scores. He's just such a dynamic, opportunistic goal scorer. But then when he's not scoring goals, he is a turnover machine, like an absolute giveaway machine. I think he led the league, did he not, in giveaways this year, like 98. Now that's saying something. I think he was 2 more than Nikita Kucherov, who, he's a pretty good player. He's probably going to win the Hart. So we're not burying Pasta for that. But the reason I bring it up is because he brought it up after game 5, I think, where he talked about some of the things that he had to channel and change going into the playoffs. One was he had to focus on the details, could not turn the puck over nearly as much as he historically has in the regular season. And the other thing was he wanted to be more physical. I don't know, man. Like, you've had so much success. What are you tinkering with it for? Just go out there and play your game. So I don't know if that's his design or the coaches in his ear.
That doesn't sound like a guy doing a personal analysis of his game, especially for a guy like that. Like,
I'm with you.
And like, you play on teams, and there are certain guys you're like, you could be a little more physical.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that you're like, Don't. No. Don't.
Well,
Don't
and
do
to be
that.
fair, when they were up 3-1 and he had a highlight reel of heavy hits and separating guys from pucks, it looked pretty good. It's just that when you lose 2 in a row and you've lost the grip on the 3-1, now all this comes into question. When he'd scored 2 goals in the first 3 games, there was not this cry for him to be better.
Right.
And you throw all in. Sorry, go ahead, Dregs.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say.
I was going to say,
you know,
and you throw into this whole
obviously.
mix, and it happens from time to time. What's happening on the Toronto side is they've made a goaltending switch, and the goalie's been terrific. That might be less about Pasternak and everything else, but it's a small sample size,
boys.
But man, the kid has been good in limited
Didn't see
action.
that coming. I mean, I didn't see it coming this quickly. And okay, let's be fair. They haven't won anything yet, right? No. And if they lose game 7, we're going to looking back at the starts for Joe Woll, and we're like, hey, this kid is the future in goal for Toronto. I mean, he's making that case abundantly clear here. Yep. So in saying that, Sheldon Keefe is under fire. I don't think it matters really what happens in game 7. If they lose, if they win and they lose to the Florida Panthers, I do think that Brad Treliving is still going to embrace the idea of change, right? Because this team isn't built to, win a round. They're built to get to the conference final or contend for the Stanley Cup. And anything short of that is going to be deemed as a disappointment, given the core of this group. So, previous management, Kyle Dubas, didn't have the stomach or the interest in hitting the core. Treliving wanted to first have a look at this season. And I think that's fair. Get a season under your belt. Brought in some sandpaper. Indomi and Bertuzzi have been terrific, by the way. Really, really good in this postseason. He's done some other things. But if they lose in game 7 or they get beaten by the Florida Panthers in round 2, I still think that all of that stuff is going to come into play. But Sheldon is coaching his ass off. He is. And there really wasn't a reason other than to go to the old coaching handbook that tells you, okay, you need a spark. And in game 4, going into the third period, they needed a spark. He knew Matthews wasn't coming out for that final period in game 4. The doctors pulled him, based on injury. So he puts Joe Woll in net. The kid has a good finish. The team responds, at least pushes back. So it's an easy decision to start him in game 5. He was stellar in game 5 and was equally as good in game 6. But I still think that the heat is on the coach. He's not worrying about that. He's coaching to win game 7. He's not coaching for his future. He's going to get another job if he's let go by the Leafs. But that's where we're at. Maybe with both clubs. Maybe not just Toronto. Maybe Boston too.
I really liked how he was coaching. I don't know that if he's in charge of it, but how their penalty kill was approaching the Boston. They were aggressive up high, and Boston couldn't figure out how to. They're trying to do a high setup, and Toronto just said, "Screw it, we're going to push you up there," and a turnover.
They didn't get a single shot in the big one,
right?
Right?
Yeah. Those were adjustments that were made because the first 3 games of the series, 3.5 games of the series, it wasn't that. Like their penalty kill wasn't. Their power play has been kind of non-existent for the Maple Leafs. So we'll see. I mean, anytime you have a game 7, obviously it's a fun environment. And we'll see. Everything that Toronto has done, though, is out of character. It really, truly is. Like the fact that there's a game of unselfishness now that they're playing, right? It's not about, okay, who's going to get multiple points? No, we got to win by 3 or 4 goals here. No. They're blocking shots. Rhett, you talked about the penalty kill. They're doing the things that you need to do to be successful. So we'll see. Maybe they get on a run. Then we'll have a completely different conversation.
Last year, the Panthers went from Alex Lyon down 3-1 to Sergei Bobrovsky, and he went $950 for a month, and everything went okay. We can talk all you want about all these narratives. You get $966 goaltending, you're winning a lot of games.
Yeah,
100%. Absolutely right.
The Jets didn't get that.
No.
Winnipeg did not get. Did they get $866? I'm not sure that they got that.
Probably.
To be honest.
Hold on, though, Connor. I watched that media veil yesterday. Not making fun of him.
We showed it too.
Best hockey of his career. I love the guy, not just because he's going to win the Vezina again. Probably. I mean, I think that's fairly. It's pretty obvious, right? I like listening to him talk because he's got a level of confidence that is unparalleled. And that's saying something when you talk about pro sports. If you don't have an abundance of confidence, chances are you're not going to be as successful as you can be. But for him to sit there and say, this was the best hockey of my career, well, then you're kind of sort of throwing everybody in front of you under the bus because you're under siege and they didn't get the job done in front of you. And then furthermore, he went on to say, and you guys probably picked this apart too, where he talked about not making the adjustments, right? Identifying the breakdowns and then fixing them game after game to a point where Adam Lowry finally had to dive in and say, I mean, you're making it sound like we didn't watch video. We watched video. So anyway, I guess what I was a bit surprised with here, guys, quick, is that, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It represents where the organization is. All the positivity that came out of that. That couldn't have been easy, losing 5 games, and losing in 5 games to the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, it just shows you how, if you don't have that extra gear like the Avs clearly have, then you don't win. Pretty simple.
I was going to say, boom. And in media, we want guys that are honest and give good answers. I didn't think that was the spot to do that.
No, you don't want to crush. You don't want to crush the guys. The guys never say anything, and then they say, "Oh, you're so stupid. It's a dumb thing to say."
There's an aside here, though, quickly. So, and I can't tell you who told me this, but so they leave the podium, and there's a discussion after the fact internally about, well, that you kind of threw Bones and the group under the bus. No, I didn't mean to do that at all. Okay.
Speaking of Bones, there again, so you have a Vezina nominee at the worst time possible.
Yeah.
And for Bones, I wonder, is this going to be, he's up for the Jack Adams for Coach of the Year? I gotta wonder if there's a change coming there as well. Just there's the coaching side, and then there's the health and life. He's going to be 70, his wife, and all we saw all that. He had to be away. I do wonder if there's a change coming in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I do. And out of respect, I mean, we have to allow Rick Bowness and his family and the Jets to make that official. My sense is, he's gonna dive back into retirement for all the things, Boomer, that you just talked about, man. Like nobody, I don't think that the fan realizes how hard it is to be an NHL coach or an NHL head coach. And, obviously you have to be flanked by real quality assistants and a staff, and most NHL clubs have that support group, but it is a grind mentally and physically. And then on top of that, have the situation that unfolded with his wife, Judy, the leave of absence that Bones took to look after his family. Then he runs into kidney stone issues late in the year. He poured his heart, sweat, and tears into this. And I'll tell you this, when he spoke to the media yesterday, he talked about how, the room needed to be cleaned up a little bit. Well, that's been accomplished. He talked about the culture that needed to be established. Well, that's been established. The next step in this process is a level of maturity and commitment to whatever it is needed to increase your intensity to win a playoff series. That's what's needed. So I think that in the very near future, we'll get the official word from Rick Bowness, but then I'm more interested in, celebrate a great man and a great career. What's next on the bench? Is it Scotty Arniel, who took over on an interim basis, who was a top candidate prior to Barry Trotz saying, now I'm out, and then them deciding, okay, well, maybe we do need more experience, and Bowness obviously was their target? Or do they, again, look at the wheel of experience and find out what it's going to take to land Todd McClellan or Craig Berube or Dean Evison or. So, there's plenty of work ahead for Chevy and the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah. And some roster construction too, like most teams. You get to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now, speaking, I guess we can kind of segue here. A former Jet who was in LA who saw his season come to an end. Man, Pierre-Luc Dubois has been heavily criticized. Like we could put it there, to the point that even in the last 24 hours, it started to crop up on social media. And so, if you buy this guy out,
this is fascinating. Yeah.
Before he's 25, but if he's 26, it goes to. Is this a realistic option for the LA Kings? A 14-year? it would save them a considerable amount of money and maybe some headaches inside that room, but they just signed him to this massive deal.
Yeah, I mean, if they embrace buyout, then that's coming from the owner's office, because the owner is the one that's going to have to eat this for the next 14 years. And as soon as they announce that Pierre-Luc Dubois is being bought out, then the announcement will be Rob Blake has been fired, Luc Robitaille is out, and everyone associated with hockey operations is also on the unemployment line.
But that wouldn't be the buyout. That would be the trade, right? Like, let's not pretend that $1.1 million doesn't come off their cap anyway. You're spending the exact same amount on your roster. It's the failure of the trade that's getting you fired here, that it went so poorly you'd rather pay this
100%.
guy to go away.
I get it, but you're year one into this thing. Like, how about have a conversation with Pat Brisson, who represents Pierre-Luc Dubois, or better yet, sit Pierre-Luc Dubois in the boardroom with everybody and say, okay, like, what is happening? What is going on here?
But you would have had that conversation before you signed him, wouldn't you? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it already cost them a coach, right, Rhett?
I don't disagree with your point. And it's hard sitting in our chairs to, you would dig more and know more people closer to the source than we would. I don't think he gives a rat's ass.
Well, it doesn't look like that, right? And
maybe worse, and sorry for cutting you off.
No.
Worse, the appearance of his teammates are they don't give a rat's ass about him.
Well, guys, I don't know. Like, Todd McClellan at the end of his days with the Los Angeles Kings looked exhausted. And I don't think it was that he had lost his will to stay in the fight and try and pull this team out of the fire. I think that it was more or less about one guy, maybe a couple. And the reason I feel like that, without ever having that conversation with Todd, is I know the level of frustration that other coaches in Winnipeg and in Columbus had to deal with Pierre-Luc Dubois. And it's disappointing. I don't know Pierre-Luc Dubois well. I mean, I've interviewed him a bunch of times. I don't know him well. But you look at the frame of this guy and the skill set of this guy. Like, I mean, every coach in the league is looking at this kid and going, oh boy, if we can just find a way to channel that, what you could have. And pretty clear that's what Rob Blake thought was going to happen.
I was screaming to get him here in Calgary when there was talk of it a few years ago. I'm like, after watching him play in the Toronto series and the bubble, I'm like, oh, yes, please. I'm floored by how his attitude just seems to.
He's an immovable object. That's why you got the buyout speculation.
Well, and the fascinating part about the buyout, as you were showing, Boom, is like, depending when the Stanley Cup ends, it's either a third of his entire money owed, which is not a lot, or 2/3, which is, double the amount of 1/3. This is like, if you want to get everyone together here, you can come up with a great plan. You don't get to play another season and figure this out. It goes to a 2/3 buyout the day he turns 26. That's June 24th. You don't have a season to run it back on. This is your one chance to buy him out for cheap. Or it's like, if you're sitting in a year, you're like, man, like we spent an extra $15 million more than we needed to.
Yeah. And that's why we're talking about it. And that's why your point is well made. Like, if they're buying out Pierre-Luc Dubois, then they're completely gutting hockey operations. But, it's only because it's such a swing and a miss. And on top of that, Winnipeg didn't win anything either. Winnipeg lost to a real good Colorado team. But if you spent 5 minutes watching Gabe Vilardi play, you wouldn't do that trade any day of the week, any century, 1-for-1.
Right.
Vilardi for PLD, let alone all the other assets. Like, I was in Winnipeg for the first 2 games of that series, and I watched Kupari, the kid, skate with the Black Aces in practice. I mean, they think he's got a legit chance of being a top 3 center in the National Hockey League moving forward. And that's just a piece. Aliafalo, the draft pick that they got, it's just a comedy of riches. So you never look. I mean, Rob Blake is a good dude. The people inside hockey ops with the Los Angeles Kings, quality individuals, but that's a tough one to get past.
And what?
But I don't disagree. But who was screaming that he was an idiot last year?
Nobody. No.
And so he said back-to-back 60-point seasons, one bad year. If you buy him out, imagine he goes scores 30 and puts up 65 on a one-year deal in Montreal. You're like, fuck, that's the guy we traded for.
Yeah. So, as soon as Kevin Cheveldayoff called down to the coach's office and said, here's the trade, I'm assuming that all coaches in that room just did one of these without even hearing what was coming back. Okay, thanks. And that's sad because, again, man, the tools are there, but he's not committed enough to play the way he's capable of playing, or has lost his way.
Boom, do you want to go somewhere else? Or
nope.
Are we done? So just to further this, is this an issue that you believe is going to continue to crop up? Like everyone's turning kids and they're coming through and they're their own businesses and this and that and this and that. Are we at all concerned? And then onto the contract talks and the CBA and stuff, they're going to guaranteed they're going to want to make some, well, I don't know. I think they're going to want to make some changes because, and I'm a player. I want what's good for the players, but you know what? This is shameful. And the team and the ownership, they should have ways out of this stuff. I think.
Well, they kind of do, and that's the buyout that we've already talked about. There's never going to be a place where the Players Association gives up on guaranteed contracts. So beyond that,
well, we weren't going to. I'll fight you on that, and I'll fight you because we were never going to have a salary cap.
Oh, I know, I remember.
Never. Can't happen.
Don't die on.
Yeah. But okay, not to get into this deep collective bargaining agreement conversation, but back when you played and you were in that fight for the greater good, you had a legion of players who were like-minded and invested and willing to fight that fight. I'm not sure you'd find 5 guys right now at an early stage in their career.
That's my point too, is that if if the owners and Gary want to put the squeeze on the players, that this group is going to band together and fight?
No.
Yeah, but if you honestly, you commit him $68, right, and you only have to pay a third, isn't that exactly what you're talking about? That's a mechanism to get out from a shitty contract.
I guess as a young guy, they're fortunate that he can be 25 or under. Like I said, I'm a player. I want what's good for the players, but I also when something like this happens, that's like I said, which one of us four? Yeah, we're appalled at the price that LA paid and what they offered him as far as pay, and we're thinking that Rob Blake and these guys are clowns. There are contracts where people go, "What the hell were they thinking?" And right away, none of us were up in arms about.
They kept Kempe, they kept Byfield.
What a fucking win for the Kings! Yeah. Look how deep they are down the middle. This team is going to be tough to stop. That's fine.
And the player identified Los Angeles as a place he wanted to go, right? That's what would be most disappointing. Like it felt like, there's some risk if you're Rob. Like, of course there's risk. I mean, it's not like their pro scouts didn't watch PLD. Come on, of course they paid close attention. But for him to, negotiate a steep contract, get it, recognize all the assets going out as part of this deal, and have the season that he had. I mean, again, I feel like buyout seems ridiculous just because you're through 1 year. That's it. But are you willing, to your point earlier, Brett, to gamble? You can have the conversation face to face with PLD. He tells you, I'm going to train harder than I've ever trained. I'm going to give you everything I got, I promise. Is that enough? Yeah.
Is it worth it's a $15 million gamble, right?
The last thing, and I brought it up yesterday. I don't even like bringing it up, but to me, there's something going on off the ice because this doesn't make sense.
Could be, yeah. I haven't heard that. I don't normally pull around in that kind of stuff.
Neither do I, and that's why I don't even like to bring it up.
No, I get it. But I mean, if that's true, that would explain part of it, right? Because man, there's got to be something. Like, what is it? And to bring the level of frustration out of a guy like Rick Bowness in Winnipeg, who's been there, done that, seen it all, and then likewise out of Todd McCullough, it ended up costing Todd his job.
Yeah,
that's really that's what we're talking about. So.
Yeah. And of course, here there's the quiet. Well, what if could you get out of this Jonathan Huberdeau deal if you trade Huberdeau to LA and you bring PLD here and then you buy him out? Then it's really getting a deal on that $10 million.
Yeah.
On that $10 million contract. It's your
the one big difference is one you could buy out. The other's absolutely bomb proof.
Right.
It's all.
Oh, but Huberdeau would be great in LA.
Of course he would. Yeah, loves the sun. Just
all
like
guys go to LA and excel.
His agent lives in LA, so they can spend time together. Yes.
So did Michael Frolik, ice time expert, Alan Walsh, LA. Okay, good.
Yeah. Good stuff. You know what? We're gonna let you get out of here. I guess just quick thoughts. Dallas has won 3 straight against Vegas. It looked like they were conference winners, going to go down here, but they've looked pretty good. And I guess thoughts on what Vancouver has in their hands now with Nashville.
Well, Vancouver's got to generate some offense here, right? Like so much of the talk has been on the goaltending, and I see that Demko is skating again. That's a positive. He's not going to be ready for the remainder of this series, but they've got to create more shots, get some more traffic, do all the old school stuff on UC Saros. And it kind of feels like Nashville's hit their stride here a little bit. So Canucks have a bit of a problem. Watch Vegas Dallas closely the other night. I don't have any specifics on this. Everybody's feeling something this time of year, but I think we're going to learn that the Vegas Golden Knights are carrying a number of guys who aren't healthy, because that's the way it looks. It looks like they're running on fumes to me. And Dallas is a big, strong, heavy team who can play with that level of pace. So we'll see. But Dallas is going to be a tough out.
Chris Tanev on the ice for 5-4, none against. High dangers, 23-4, 6 against. Still being Chris Tanev. That's a hell of a pickup.
Really good pickup. I mean, you looked at the offseason. I'm curious as to what's going to happen with him there. I got to believe that they're going to try and extend, but
it's a fit, right?
Where he wants to be. It's a great fit. Great fit. He not that we're surprised, but even when the Noah Hannafin, like all of the trade speculation around Dallas and all the teams that were looking at that same group, my Dallas sources kept saying repeatedly, it's one guy, Tanev. That was the only guy they wanted. Yeah, they kicked tires a little bit on Sean Walker in Philadelphia, but they never, ever lost sight of Tanev. Not one time.
Beautiful stuff, man. Appreciate you as always. Have a fine weekend. We'll catch up on Friday. You betcha.
Yeah,
thanks,
there will be aftermath next week. Plenty of things to talk
Some
about.
carnage. Yeah, we'll deal with it. Thanks, man. There he is. TSN Hockey Insider and our buddy Darren Dreger here on Barn Burner on a Friday. There's that's it. A 14-year buyout, and I know we've seen them in the when DiPietro got bought out and when Yashin got bought out, but they had signed 12 and whatever year deals. But I have to wonder, if you sit there and you look each other in the eye, is this going to get better in the next 7 years?
I think that your guts can tell you a lot, and being around a guy for a year can tell you a lot. They know damn well what the gamble is.
And look at the money, guys. It's not that much.
It's not that much. I'd buy him out.
The cap's like 100 million where? Like the fourth year there? Like we're talking about 1-2% of your cap? Who cares?
Okay, so we love Rob Blake, Luc Robitaille, classy guys. There's no one in the world that says anything but great guys. So you're going to trust in them, whether you keep them or not. These are good people. Well, you know who else is a good person in that organization, players wise? You got to think that Drew Doughty, you trust his opinion on something. What about Anze Kopitar?
Big time.
You trust his opinion on things? Yep. Seemed like it, right?
And you know what? I'm trying to think, just guys that would still be around the team.
Yeah, but
right.
Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Drew and Anze, we're going for coffee down at the beach here. We're going to have a little tete-a-tete. What's the deal with this guy? We can't have, because you're going to get stuck playing with them, right? Like that's the message Blake and Robitaille are delivering to Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty, who want to win another Stanley Cup. Make no mistakes. That's what drives those guys.
Yeah.
Fellas, give it to me straight. Because typically a guy won't shit talk a teammate, but they'll have opinions on a guy. And sometimes the answer is in the non-answer. Well, if it's not a resounding no, we got to keep him, get him the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Adios, muchachos.
Muchachos. Because you could make. Are we going to be worse on the ice? At this point, no.
No, you're not. No,
you're really
absolutely not. You will do more with the cap space you gain than what he's giving you for 8.5. There's no question.
The cap hindrance is nothing. It's the owners.
1-2% of your cap most of these years.
Nothing. No.
So it's money and some pride.
Yes,
it's less money than you're going to give them anyway. It's a third, or a third. But yeah, like the whole idea of like, oh, geez, like what a financial commitment. Like you're getting out of a financial commitment. Fella.
Yeah, you are
making one.
Yes,
like you're throwing 40% of this thing on the highway or more than that. Like this is great.
Sorry, you'll be able to get it quicker, Ryan. The Oliver Ekman-Larsson buyout with Vancouver, because that was kind of similar, right? They brought him in. The deal had already been signed, but it was hey, look at the egg on our face. Yeah. We're buying out this contract, and we just traded for this guy. It's like, get over it. It's
not working.
What more bad money over bad money? Just cut to cure if it's going to make sense.
Yeah, the difference of that is there 3 or 4 years left on it, and this has got the full 7. But yeah, it's absolutely 14. Makes sense to buy him out.
Because it's double the term, so it'd be 14 years.
Yeah, the buyouts are always double the term, and depending on your age, it's either a third of the salary or 2/3. And you can't buy out signing bonuses, which complicates matters. Which
don't care about the length or any of it. In fact, the matter is $1 million or whatever it is a year is
peanuts.
Who cares?
Yeah, the challenge will be that if what Dreger says is true, the best move might be the buyout, but you're going to get fired if you do it. That's what he essentially said. Was if they buy him out, they're cleaning house.
Whatever. That's their if their opinion of by keeping him doesn't mean they're not cleaning house.
Yeah, certainly. It's
right. Like your job, Blake and Robitaille might not be in charge of the buyout. Like if the ownership is questioning whether they can accomplish what they want them to accomplish, that conversation's happening before all of this needs to be decided. Not after. You're not going to fire Rob Blake after they do this.
The whole review of the whole thing
10 days before the draft.
It's just it's the tough spot because it's acknowledging the failure, and it also doesn't allow him to have a bounce back year. He can go back to 27
goals.
Another
thing that society and ownership's stupid about is that if you think that your guy's only going to hit home runs, or doubles even, good luck. Good luck. Because the next guy that comes in, he's going to F up.
There's going to be mistakes, yeah.
Mistakes. We say it all the time. You said it yesterday. There's $10 million of dead cap on most teams. Maybe, I mean, maybe we're exaggerating a little bit, but
yeah. Like the Canucks are spending $2.12 million for 8 years to not have to deal with the last 4 of Oliver Ekman-Larsson because he was making way too much money. He was in at 8.25. I guess Phoenix paid a bit of that, but like the point being. He wasn't a $1 million player. They needed that cap space to go, do the things they needed to do. They got to sign the guys they've signed. They've got Hronek coming up as a free agent this year. Like they're a better team.
Guys back that you traded out of LA. You can't get them back. It's over. It doesn't matter.
It's on cost.
This is on Dubois' head, not.
Well, and watch, like he might be Alex Semin. Like you put this guy on 1-year deals, he might be great.
That's the other thing you have to accept. If he goes somewhere else and gets you 65 points,
you don't care.
I don't care.
No rearview mirror.
Because I talked to my kingpins in the room, and they're it'd be okay if he wasn't around.
Better than okay, I guess. Yeah, and then the funny thing is, even if you really want to buy him out, if the cup goes as late as it possibly goes, he's 26 by the time you can buy him out. Because I think it's a 48-hour window after the cup final there's a 48-hour buyout window that can't start till the cup's given up.
Yeah,
you need a lot really getting into it there,
right? But that was the other part. It came up. If the cup goes to the final, you got to wait 48 hours, and by then it'll be just after his birthday, so then it's 2/3. But
this is incredible drama. I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this. You don't often see buyouts for guys 25 or under anyway. It's just so rare to see those guys flame out. It really speaks to how bleep this whole thing is.
It is, and just how seemingly wrong you can be so quickly.
Well, and that's what everyone thinks now, right?
No,
maybe they're not wrong next year. The
problem I have is that Rob Blake's not wrong. We weren't wrong. Nobody was freaking out. This is on Dubois. He don't care. And if a guy will lie to your face, he'll lie to your face. Right? Like, I want to go to LA because I'm going to be a hell of a player and I'm going to give it my team the best.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. No, you have to. If you say you're going to, usually you trust the guy if he gives you his word, right? Like, what would lead you to believe that he was going to go there and pack it in. Again, I go, if there's something off ice, none of my fucking business, but that's the only thing that makes sense. And regardless of what it is, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
All the skills,
all
the skills that saw him as a power forward centerman with 60 points, flirting with 30 goals 3 times, they're all still there. He's 25. That's not, so it's clearly not the Kings are screwing this guy. Like, yes, this all lies on Pierre-Luc Dubois, but guess what? Welcome to being a GM, Rhett. You made that move. You have to take the sword for it because it's going to limit our ability to win a cup. And listen, it's not fair, but it is the business.
I'm sticking up for Rob Blake because I think Rob Blake's a hell of a guy, and I think that this is a mistake that shouldn't ever happen because a player shouldn't be like that. And if he has to fall on the sword, guess what? He'll be just fine.
Yeah.
He'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you talked about it, Boom, like it's Robitaille, it's Blake, it's Nelson Emerson, it's Glenn Murray. There is a whole bunch of guys that they've forgotten more about hockey than many front offices have in terms of knowledge. This is killing those guys.
Yeah.
It's one deal.
And you'll have enough connections to Winnipeg. Hey, Buff. Hey, guys that play there. What's the story with this guy? I mean, which again, you'd think they'd have done in the first place, but you would have had in front of you. It's Los Angeles. It's not Columbus or Winnipeg. He's a centerman. He's 6'4", 225. As a grump, he scored 27 goals down the middle.
That's the whole thing. If he's miserable and that's what he was doing, imagine once he gets to LA.
Once he gets here with our guys and our coach, and McClellan's a great coach and the whole thing, you can see how it happens. And like I said with Dregs there, the trade looks awful now. But yeah, Velarde was a first-round pick and Kupari was a first-round pick. But would they have drafted? They'd have had Brandt Clark by then, right?
Yep.
Brandt Clark and Byfield and Kempe. They'd have kept all of their top-level prospects.
Velarde couldn't stay healthy for about 3-4 years there, and that still was an issue this year in Winnipeg. Like, that's not out of the woods. He has been one of the more injury-plagued prospects of the last decade. Like, it's just, yes, he's a very good player when he's healthy. The Kings knew that. They didn't get to see it much.
Yeah. Dubois. PLD.
Yeah, you want to talk about tough decisions for Connie, that for Rob Blake there and that whole team. Oof. Trumps anything he's dealt with this summer.
So there's let's just, for you, Retro, you are the Flames general manager. Under no circumstances would you trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois.
No, I would never say no.
I have one circumstance. It's the fucking buyout.
You trade to get him to buy him out?
Yeah, like
$10.5 million a year for 7 years.
Pick up his contract?
What's that?
Like to trade for him and pick up his contract?
Well, no, I was thinking more
to include him in your team.
Yeah,
no, I know. I'm giving you the loophole.
You're getting him for pennies on the dollar to basically nothing.
No, I don't want him under this contract, no matter what.
Yeah.
If the only reason you'd want him is if he gets bought out,
you buy him out.
If he gets bought, if the Huberdeau thing worked, okay, I'd take a stab at that. If I could buy him out and get off of Huberdeau and save my and buy,
you're banking like $7 to $9 million a year in that.
100%, I'd do that.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
but this organization doesn't have an appetite for spending money like that.
Chaotic? Like, why would LA do that?
They wouldn't.
Exactly. So it's a pipe dream. But if you're asking, would I take him? Yeah, I would take him on a 1-year deal, just like Pinder said at Semin at the right number. I'm never going to say never to a 6'4" defenseman or centerman that has scored 30 and good. No.
If he got bought out and he's a free agent,
team's not in a frame.
There you go. Yeah.
If he got bought out by LA, Rhett, and he's a free agent, a 1-year deal in this type of a spot might be the best.
No one's going to touch him.
If he looks great, you can pump him at the deadline. If he doesn't, he's gone. If he hurts your team, your draft pick only gets higher. Like, let's be honest, where this team is. That's exactly the type of cut you should take. It's the Montreal Canadiens re-upping Sean Monahan when he's hurt, knowing that if things go right, they can add a pick for him later.
Yeah.
Monty was a little better in the room.
A little better. Yeah. A little better. Let's do the Pinder Report. The Friday edition of the Pinder Report. I think there were, I don't know if I had anything else I was going to talk about. Well, I said, you know what? Actually, Jack's got it called up there, so I want to talk about it. We got the heads up now. Now, Pinder, of course, is maybe the guy that should be telling us about this. But coming up on May 16th, it's right around the corner. It's a Thursday. Write it down. Jot it down in your, what do you got? Like a ledger?
Planner.
A day planner? There it is. Have you got it written down? May 16th?
Right now, May 16th, Thursday night.
All right.
I want to go to Strathmore. Am I crazy?
You're going to Strathmore. That's right. It is Origin Brewing, our buddies at the Tap Room in Strathmore. It's the Six Sutter Shooters Hot Stove Lounge. The man in the Hawaiian shirt is going to be quarterbacking a hot stove with the Sutter brothers. Of course, the Six Sutter Shooters is a beer that has been developed and is in production and is available by the good fellas and ladies at Origin Brewing. And they are going to have a night with the Sutters. Now, the Sutters, it's their benevolent fun. And for years and years, they used to have the bar in Red Deer, and then they've had the golf tournament and that, raising money for their fund. It's the Sutter Fund, which if there's a needy cause and if there's something that's the right thing to do to help somebody in need, they're going to do it. And that's where the money goes. Tickets are $20, available through Eventbrite. So if you go Eventbrite, BRITE, and then just Google Origin or just search Origin, then you'll see it come up there. Or on the screen, you can scan the QR code and it'll take you right there. $20, all the money to the Sutter Fund. Doors at 6, gets going at 7. Limited seats available for that.
Get those tickets. That's a hell of a deal. The beer will be good. The stories will be better. And that doesn't sound possible because the Origin beer is amazing. Trust me.
And they're all brothers, eh?
Are we sure? We done the DNA testing, Rhett?
Who wore what number?
Do they look similar?
The twins are.
Is there any resemblance between them? Who are the numbers? The twins I have a harder time with because I knew Brent was 12 and Daryl's 27, and Dog was what?
Do they keep the same numbers their whole career? Or do they have to switch in different stops?
Was Dog 21?
I'm curious.
Oh, I thought you were testing me. Anyway.
Figure that out if you want.
So that's the event coming up on the
Strathmore, baby, 16th.
And also it's Beer Fest this weekend.
Right. Yeah, this
Beer
weekend.
Fest tonight and tomorrow. The Origin folks are going to be at Beer Fest. Make sure you stop by, ask about the Barn Burner Blonde, maybe get yourself some, have a little sample, and then tomorrow afternoon, if you're going by, Dwayne Sutter going to be hanging out at the Origin booth, I suppose is what you call it.
I'm coming out of the booth.
I'm coming out of the booth with a Louisville Slugger. Village Honda presents the Pinder Report. The 2024 Honda Accord, redesigned last year, chosen by Car and Driver magazine as the #1 mid-sized sedan. One of the most reliable vehicles on the road, better than ever. Superior ride quality, reliability, and impressive fuel economy, all thanks to the EXL Hybrid. You can take one for a test drive, or I think they call it a TD. Take one for, you want TD? A little quick TD? At Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. Online, villagehonda.com. And they present the Pinder Report.
Did we have any feedback on the heavy metal Pinder Report song intro? I know that
he wound up.
Woof.
I don't want to speak ill.
Heavy.
I don't want to speak ill of it, but not glowing reviews.
Yeah. So some people say, I don't know, but I like the happy reggae one. I don't know if we need the death metal one. It's AI.
Depends on the day.
You're not offending the artist. It's just some stinking computer that made
that
up.
Well then, yeah, it's shit.
Okay,
I thought some guy did it. It's AI?
Thank you. Yeah. And a listener submission as well, which the Pinder Report's always open for. Appreciate that. Wranglers game day, Wranglers game day, Wranglers game day, Wranglers game day. Look at this. Another crack at the stinking Firebirds. Max McCormick, you son of a bitch. Okay, I don't know. Fired up here.
Are you seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
What's that?
Well, it's all out of whack on my end.
No, it's clear for me.
It's good here, yeah.
Well, your internet.
Don't do that to me, Rhett.
Rhett, is that
maybe I'm twitching out here, but maybe it's coming.
Rhett's been good knowing you, buddy. You got burnt toast over at your end, boys. They of course had their season ended in the playoffs by Coachella Valley last year, who went all the way to the Calder Cup final. All right, let's take another look. Hey, they're doing some posters. Look at these posters. Do you remember round 1? They had the little Roadrunner next to the boot. Now this. Oh yeah, wanted the fire battles.
Which also must be AI or something.
Yeah, I hope that's not it. I hope the person that used to get paid by CSCC to make these still has their job. But okay, Dean, sure,
looks good.
Whatever works.
Either way.
Or the guy's still getting paid and you got AI to do it and they just went on lunch break
Really?
today. That'd be really smart. That's Rhett's move right there. Asked you yesterday about Dustin Wolf, what a good season looks like. Another central figure for the Wranglers and for the Flames next year potentially is Matt Coronado. I'll ask you the same question. What does a successful season look like for Matt Coronado next year, who, of course, last year, full year of college, this year, bouncing between the American League point per game and the NHL where he had 3 goals.
It's minimum 20.
Oh, 20 is a big number. Love that.
Oh, what the hell's he here for then?
I was going to say 50.
Just,
Hyman did it.
Hyman did not score 20 at that age. I'll tell you that for sure. He wasn't in the league.
Maybe, but is Coronado, are they as rich? Is he got rich parents?
Oh, dear. You're going back on that one.
Buy a few.
Yeah, how does that work? You just pay the scorekeeper your chiseling for points?
Just pay, yeah.
20 would be a very good season, would it not, Rhett? You'd be like, yes, this is what you draft him for. He's arrived.
What do we want? I want 20 goals. He should be given plenty of opportunity. So,
the logjam at wing is a little interesting, but
who's log jamming him?
Well,
AJ?
If Sharon Govich is back on the wing, Rhett, there's a lot of guys log jamming him, especially if you can't move Mangiapane's deal. Logjam was that movie.
I'm not playing Mangiapane in front of Coronado for anything. Sorry.
They did pretty much all year, but I'm kind of with
Huska's an idiot.
Oh, here we go. Here we
Just, I was going to strays everywhere.
Oh,
poor AJ Greer on waivers, comes in, plays his ass off, gets his leg broke. Who am I going to play in front of him? AJ?
Well,
poor AJ.
Okay, you guys run your team your way.
Yeah, I'll GM with my hat. Okay.
Yeah. We've all got hats, Ryan.
Yeah.
We've all got hats.
Rob Blake's hat's not responsible for PLD. That's what he just told us about his hat.
But so what were the numbers this year for
point per game in the A? Like that's a very, very excellent rookie season in the pro ranks. Right?
Zary had 14. Right? 20
would be great. Yeah. Love to see it.
Hey, let's shoot for low so that we don't.
Well, but again, this is another Pinder thing. He'll set the bar at varying levels, and there's no real rhyme or reason.
Well, I literally asked the question, what would a successful season look like? I haven't said any bars.
Oh, okay.
Rhett said 20. You said 50. So if we want to talk about who's being an ass hat, the guy that said 50 for the guy who had 3 this year probably can wear that.
Well, and it was a disappointing season.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Really let down.
Okay.
Greer had more than that.
Sure
Friggin'
did.
AJ had more than that.
Yeah. I think Markstrom had more assists than he had goals. That's
sure he did. Yeah.
What a failure. You want to take a shot at anyone else? Is that who drafted him? Tree? Connie? What do we
Oh, and we'll find. There's bullets in the holster.
Let's move. By the way, it is game day in Calgary. Also, game 2 is Sunday. So it's evening tonight, late afternoon Sunday. Go support them Wranglers.
Go sports team.
Go local Sprots. Last night we had some bangers. Well, one really. What a game. 0s until the final minute of the second period. Willie Stiles, Wee Willie Nylander, as Joe Bowen called him famously, gets them up 1-0 on a, I don't know if it's fluky, unlucky, misplay, a bad goal, whatever you want to call it. It bounced in off Charlie McAvoy past a well-positioned sway dog.
Fortunate for Leaf fan goal.
Yeah, unfortunate for Bruins, and that made a 1-0. The next goal really was so I've heard William Nylander doesn't really feel the pressure of Toronto in big games. He's just, out there playing hockey. This looks like a guy in men's league trying a new move. This is unbelievable. The goal, of course, was unbelievable. This is as he's tucking at 5-hole. Does he look stressed, Red? Look at this. Yeah. Got ya. What a move. Opens him up.
How did I get access to that camera? That's pretty good.
Cameras are everywhere, Rhett. You know that.
Yeah, I know. P. Diddy had like 250 in his house.
Oh,
too many. That's too many.
That seems to be a lot.
Trev.
Big house.
It's too many.
It's a lot of camera jokes I'm not going to go to. Let's do more Bruins Leafs analysis. We noted the pattern. We've seen this before, so why would we think the pattern is going to change? The Bruins have done this exact series twice already against Toronto. Saturday night's game 7 should be fun. And yes, the drama should be through the roof because you either have another first round failure for for the Toronto Maple Leafs and a loss in Game 7, or you have the Bruins blowing back-to-back 3-1 leads. This is Brady, Trenero, Chichinucha, Chica.
Don't hurt yourself.
Chica.
Careful.
Not going to work here anymore. Either the Bruins are going to blow a second straight 3-1 lead, or the Leafs are going to lose a 6th straight Game 7. Incredible cinema. It's true. Saturday. Be there.
And I didn't realize, because I said it yesterday, I didn't play. Joseph Woll, I just assumed that's a European goalie. Big European goalie. So
College guy.
he was 3 years at Boston College, so he's loving playing in Boston. This is great for him.
He looks like he's got no nerves. And Ilya Samsonov looked like a jittery guy that had 8 coffees.
You played in the bean pot? You
Total
play
bean
pot
pot.
anytime.
Love the TD guard.
Pressure.
Pressures for tires. That's what Alec Manoah said before he went and blew up his career in the minors.
Got a lot of hot.
How's it going, Alex?
Good start. He might play Sunday against the Nationals. We'll see there. Jay Fresh has got this on that 6-game losing streak for the Bruins in elimination games. It goes all the way back to, well, a game against Carolina. That was a Game 7. They had an elimination game against Florida. 3 of them last year, lost all of those. And now they've lost 2 elimination games against the Leafs. Should they lose a Game 7 against Toronto on Saturday, you're talking about, like, if you'd bet against them all those games, elimination game, just bet against the Bruins. Yeah, like, incredible odds. It's a 1 in 200 chance that the things that have transpired already have, just based on what the gaming odds were on each of those games. It's ugly. And on top of that, 13 seasons. Here's the stat I tried to reference earlier. Since they won the Cup in 2011, Bruins, best regular season team in the NHL since they won the Cup. That is 13 years of hockey, Dino. 108-point pace on average. They're the only team in the top 6 with no Stanley Cup. It's like we came into this series and you're like, how are those losers, the Leafs, going to blow this one? And we're heading towards Game 7. It's like, look at these underachieving choke job Bruins. Like, funny how quick the narrative changes.
And you might be wondering, where's the momentum here? You had a 3-1, so Boston's reeling and Toronto is going. So with the win last night, Toronto, the 65th team in NHL history to force a Game 7 after being down 3-1.
I like this.
So Game 7, after a 3-1 deficit has been evened, 50-50 split.
Oh!
The team that gave up the lead won 32 times. The team that roared back won 32.
The only way this gets better, I'm going to manifest this shit.
Do it.
Game 7, overtime.
Double overtime.
Please.
Yeah. And reason to think it could happen.
I mean, 50-50. When you have a series on the line in overtime, that is peak hockey.
I was just kind of surprised. Sorry, I was surprised to see that because I would have thought that the team that blew the lead
chokes, right?
Right? You've got momentum. You're on house money. You're coming back. You've been down 3-1. I thought there would have been, but
totally
not so much.
Okay. We'll move to tonight's action. We have 2 games that if they go the right way, we will get more Game 7s. Let's take a look at those potential games. It is starting in Nashville, where the Vancouver Canucks are on the road for a Game 6. If Nashville wins, they go back to Vancouver for a Game 7. The other contest tonight. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Quinn. He's got the Sean Monahan vibes, eh? Like, you never any emotion. 2 good defensemen there.
Yeah.
Both those guys in the Norris ballot? I think so. How are we feeling about this? The Canucks have not looked like the Canucks. And the Predators have Colton Sissons as their number 2 center. No one seems to care. They just keep winning.
That the Canucks are fortunate that the series isn't reversed and, if not, over.
Seelovs will start Game 6. That being reported.
I'll have it in my Betway bets. I'll have it in my Betway bets coming up. But Dreger referenced it. The Vancouver Canucks, they need to generate more. Here are the shot totals for Vancouver over the 5 games.
Okay.
21, 18, 12, 21, and 20.
That's not a lot, Dean.
They had 12 in Game 3, and I believe that's the game they won.
It's a victory.
That's the one they had no business winning, or was that Game 4?
Wow. Either way.
Game 4, they rallied back, didn't they? Yeah. Anyway.
Like 21 is the high watermark for shots on net, which it felt like when you watch Vancouver.
Well,
they were coming.
They aren't the Islanders, and Demko's not, right? Like they don't even have Demko. It's not like they're trying to sit back.
No, this is a third string goalie you're playing for you. You should muster some offense, right? Make his life a little easier, Rhett.
Yeah. Lots of opportunity. Still time.
Mm-hmm. Jack Adams Trophy nominees announced.
Jack.
Not a lot of surprises here. We knew Rick Tocchet is heavy favorite. He's there. Rick Bowness was going to get some love. He's there. And mid-season, Andrew Burnett was not going to get any love, but then he went on an 18-game undefeated streak, which bested the Oilers' undefeated run and flung them from in the mucky middle bubble outside looking in into wild card 1, where they now are in a series in round 1. That's a hell of a job from Burnett, who last time he was in a nominee for this award didn't get a job renewed.
Didn't get hired by the team he was with. Yeah, that's right.
Didn't get fired.
So is there any snubbage, any snubbery out there for a coach that
I mean, you could say Peter Laviolette his first year in New York, but it never goes to that type of coach. It always goes to the people that exceeded expectations. These are the 3 teams that did that the best. People were saying that the Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch, because he had a sterling record. It's like, yeah, you're right, but the Oilers kind of ended up where we thought they'd end up, if not worse. Like, they should have won the division. No, so did he overcome a shitty start that Jay Woodcroft led them to? Yeah, but he's an interim. Are we really surprised that a McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, Hyman team was really good? No, we're not surprised.
Who did more than these guys?
That's the question. I think
it is weird, right? Because you have the Rangers, who led the league with 55 wins, and as you said, Laviolette not there. Florida 52, Dallas 52, Carolina 52 wins. And
never goes to those guys. Almost never.
Yeah.
Who exceeded expectations the most?
Who was shit and then wasn't shit?
Who do we think was going to suck and they were actually okay? Let's give that guy the award.
I think that is an indicator. Sorry, this is a lame topic, but that is an indicator of who's the best coach. It's like they're helping their team overcome shortcomings.
Yes,
if I have Hasek and I can just throw him out there and he gets me 6 shutouts in a month of how's my coaching?
Well, to be fair, that's kind of what Rick Bowness did. Hey, Hellebuck, go be the best goalie.
Good point. That's true.
But no, we thought Winnipeg was going to miss. We were like, that team's screwed. And that's, I think, why you had so much apathy in the fan base and small crowds the first half of the year. Because, like, these guys are losers. And then it's like, oh, shit, they're actually good. Huge surprise. Our coach must be doing a great job. Give him a nod.
Interesting. You know what? Very good point by you, Rhett. It's food for thought.
It is.
I'm hungry. WHL playoffs continue. We saw the Blades yesterday in the Pinder Report tie things up. Look at Portland and PG. Now, the 13-hour bus ride before you factor in the border.
Out of the Winterhawks.
They're playing a 2-3-2. So they played the first 2 in PG. They split those. It was 1-1 going to Portland. And then now they're heading back to PG, friends, for the final 2 games of the series. PG's not out of this thing yet. They got a big win last night. Cougs! Big crowds there, finally.
Jimmy Playfair, Mark Lamb.
How long do you have to be in Prince George for to not stink? Like, it's like, what, 4 or 5 days you don't smell it anymore? Like living in Brooks or something? What is it?
Never been to Prince George.
I've never been. You've never been? You played in the Dub.
Yeah, we played 1 game there. They just came in. They were
from Vic.
Yeah,
that's right.
I only played 1 game there, and I was terrible.
Yeah,
it's
benched me.
It's your olfactory gland. It was all messed up there. The damn milk.
They still had the wire on the sideboards there, instead of glass.
Beautiful.
Ugh. Don't need any of that.
I'm going to sneeze.
Happy 20th anniversary. Oh, we need Rhett for this.
Just hang on.
Yeah, I'll wait for him.
Go.
Happy 20th anniversary to the Dream becoming alive and the Eliminator really getting his nickname earned.
Going up with the play, drives it in as we move into the final minute of this first overtime. Conroy in the corner, tried to slide it out front, and the puck was loose for just a moment. Now Ginman takes a shot. The rebound in front. Gentlemen score!
Conroy on the 1-on-5 forecheck there. Is that what that was?
Yes, lower the wind spot.
on that tenacious Conroy forecheck. I felt bad for Robert Lang. He had no choice but to turn that puck over.
Bob Lang.
Hatcher's just standing there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you mean Hatcher standing there? You're watching the fellas?
I was taking it in. I loved it.
It was incredible. This was game 6. This was it was cute that they got Vancouver, but this is the Detroit bleeping Red Wings. Hall of Famers all over. And Jelena for the second series in a row. Wins it. The Eliminator is born, and the dream became real. If you could beat Detroit, well, why couldn't you beat everyone else? I was in the 300s hugging some 80-year-old man I'd never met before. It was exciting times in Calgary.
Look at the movie that was coming out.
Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never saw it.
Oh, good show.
Saw plenty of ads for it, obviously, but never did see it.
Oh, Kenny.
There it is.
20 years, Red.
It's a long time, Ryan.
Just going to work on that forecheck. Oh,
is Connie trying to play it over to Jelly, or is he looking for a rebound? That's a sneaky, nice little play there.
Just jamming. He's shooting. Yeah,
gets the bounce.
It is good. To watch? If you were to take that team, just time machine that team, Robert Lang and Hatcher and all those guys. Look how slow they look. Is that Wooly? I'm kind of going out with a stick, and I'm kind of standing around. And
there's some guys hurt in Detroit. Was it Stevie Weil that stayed in Detroit?
Yeah, his face. Yeah, got the puck. He had surgery.
Is that you that did that to him, or what?
Well, Jelly had no problem putting that one in.
We could have scored that too.
And the other thing people are asking, you immediately turn and throw your glove. Is it a Darryl, an assistant?
I think it was my helmet. It was at Darryl, and I forget why.
Let's go back to that, Jack. They cut to the bench after the celebration, and Rhett throws something at some staff member.
It was my helmet.
I believe it was the helmet.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
There was a reason. I don't know what it is. CTE.
Yeah.
Look at Bob Lang. Look at Bob. Kind of hanging on to you. Now I'm going to come back out in front. Kind of back swat at it there. And
see, Darryl gave me the fist bump.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There we were. Something had just I can't remember what. Anyway.
I think you've actually told the story and you've just forgotten. This is wild. I remember you talking about that on the old show, I think.
Whatever. Can't live in the past.
Can't do it.
Chelios, Datsuk, Draper, Fisher, Hasek, Hatcher, Holmstrom, Hoodler, Hull, Joseph, Cronwall.
Can you rewind
Lang,
it just a touch?
Lidstrom.
Oh, right there, that big bald-headed bastard. Isn't that Big Cy?
That's Big Cy.
Oh, makes me sad.
When did he have the bare foot? Was that the Saprikan?
That was game 5 in Tampa.
Yeah.
And the end of the broadcast, everyone's raving about Brennan Evans, who had to come in and play minutes because, Rhett, you were down for a bit that series. Other guys were hurt. He played a whopping 549 over 2 games. Big minutes. 2 game total. Needed him.
Games 3 and 4.
All right. Misty in here. Let's move to something a little lighter, a little levity. We love Shaq. We love TNT. And the hockey on TNT is about 1,000 times better than ESPN. Here's proof why.
Oh, Shaq Hyman. Shaq Hyman's back in the building. Oh, my goodness gracious. Don't be skating in my neutral zone. I was told to do it. I was told to do it. I was told. Shaq Hyman is just retired.
No one has more fun than these guys.
Oh, Shaq Hyman. Shaq Hyman's back in the building. Oh,
Did you watch?
Oh, gracious. Don't be skating in my neutral zone. I was told to do it. I was told.
This looks big.
This was never small.
Was that big? Shaq's massive. I think
Shaq is massive.
That's a good point.
And Barkley was on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had him doing the screening the goalie. You're like, yeah, that guy'd be tough for goalies.
And not to dump on the other guys.
Oh,
but
so
yeah,
bad.
the ESPN one is.
Did we play the PK clip talking about his?
I don't know. I feel bad for Steve Levy. He's got a
but he eggs it on. He's
trying for anything. You know what?
Yeah.
I think he's been put in such a spot. What else is he going to do?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Fail or?
Yeah, I feel for the guy.
It's a tough go.
Because it would be tough to work with, ex-athletes who are just fucking duds, who just sit there and don't say anything unless you constantly pitch fucking questions at them over and over and over.
That's PK's issue.
That's definitely not the issue to deal with on that panel.
That's not PK's issue.
So we liked the segment, PK. If you could not talk about your genitals on the next show, that'd be great. Okay, thanks. Good meeting, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Think that's what I was talking about. That's because
that's what you were talking about.
PK,
come on, PK, please.
But yeah, Barkley and Shaq, those two. That's
I want to hang out with them so bad
because they are two. Barkley, but still one of the best. Shaq, one of the very, very best.
Yeah, Hall of Famers.
And they clearly like doing it, and they like doing it together, and their chemistry it's brilliant. I don't know whether it just happened to be, do you get Barkley and then you get Shaq? Like, who do you get along with? Who would be somebody who would be, I don't know how it comes together, but it feels like such a small percentage that you would be able to find that and have it work. Because every night it feels like there's something coming from that show that makes you laugh out loud.
It's the show. I don't care if I watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. When are they on? Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Stop flipping.
And as you've seen, and I mean, not so much Wayne. Wayne's okay, but Messier is one of the greatest to ever play, but he's no good at that. And Wayne is
never been
okay
good. It's a bad hire. Wayne's great when Biz is there because he gets a kick out of Biz.
Yeah,
so
Biz,
they put him in a good spot.
Oddly,
the beauty of Biz is that he makes everybody else have to be a little bit looser.
Yeah,
yes,
because have fun with
of himself, and everyone has, he'll start taking runs at other guys. He makes it feel like a locker room again.
And that's what Shaq and Barkley do on their own. Like they don't, they have humor, and it's they're so good.
And they can, and not everybody can. They can take a joke. They can take a punch, right? I think there's a lot of those guys. They're not. Well, I mean, you can't make fun. No, that's insulting. I wouldn't be able to. Those two guys, it's open season on each other. When he hip checked Shaq into the Christmas tree 2 years ago or whatever it was, like holy shit! And they're dropping stuff on Barkley all the time. Those are two of the greatest to ever do it. Like it's awesome that they're willing to do that.
Just behaving like 9-year-old boys. Amazing.
And as we showed, Kenny Smith, they're doing it at 11, 12, 1 in the morning.
Yeah, they're out on the East.
It's not middle of the day when they're feeling fresh as a daisy. They obviously, they don't need the money. They're doing it because they like doing it. And it's clear they like doing it. It's awesome.
Money's pretty good too.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Let's go to Summer Short League Baseball. This is a collegiate team called the Tri-City Chili Peppers. They're doing the first Cosmic Baseball game. Black lights at night, glow in the dark everything. No one has more fun than like minor league ball, eh? Savannah Bananas, now these guys. Tri-City Chili Peppers.
I think they're all trying to keep up now, right, with the Bananas?
Yeah, it's like, come watch us do dumb shit, and there might even be a baseball game. That's kind of where we're at with some of this minor league stuff. Get all banged up, right? Go to one of these games.
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily dig it or love it, but I like that they're having fun with it. Why not?
Fun's good. Fun's good. We move to the Bills being cursed. Sorry, Rhett. Welcome, Chase Claypool.
Canadian.
Yeah, Abbotsford, I believe. Yeah. Was a freak at the combine, had a pretty great rookie year, and then has cursed every team that he's gone to.
Not the Bills. He's going to find a way. McDermott will get through to him.
Fellow Canadian, you get him, bring him in, Rhett.
It feels like a Canadian city, Chase. It's like you're in Canada here. You're very comfortable.
Do they have room for any receivers there in Buffalo? Do they have
still got room.
A spot?
He's going to be given an opportunity. place that can succeed.
Right. We'll revisit that. Okay.
He was projecting, right?
For about 5 games.
Went from
6
projecting to projectile vomiting. It was quite a turn.
Yeah, he's
got a
got some
second
real-
rounder gave up for him from the Bears, and he was useless there.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Well, you know who likes Chase
Chase-
Claypool? Apparently, is Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool?
Big fan of Chase Claypool.
He knows him well.
Yeah, knows him real well.
Let's go to our boy Tim Nackey trying to manifest the Millie. Let's go,
Come
Timmy.
on.
Come on, Timmy.
Come
Head
on,
into the
Tim.
weekend.
Jeez, come on, Tim.
Going to blackjack and betting TNC for every Instagram follower. I've got this 1,130,000 of your legends now, so $113,000 bet coming up. I'm dusty as fuck. I could really use a W right here. Ladies and gentlemen, on day 82, we verse a Sam Smith love child here. They talk about the Great Recession. He could be the face of it with the hairline this man is running. Please be good. We see Jack go 10 here. 15 versus a 9. You've got to be fucking kidding. We absolutely must hit. I don't know. Go low. 20! 20! 20! Please give him fucking 10. Give him a fucking 10 and tell me the job is done. 10 here. 10 here, you Sam Smith looking motherfucker. 13. Go low. Go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Good enough. Good enough. It's good enough. Oh, thank you, sweet baby infant Jesus. And I will see you tomorrow when we will be betting even more. Hallelujah. Manifest the Millie and we will go again tomorrow with all the marbles on the line.
That is 226,000 New Zealand dollars.
Because he was pretty cool about it, right? Yeah, we'll do $57,000. We'll do $62,000 on today's hand. Oh man, okay, we'll be betting even more.
13,000.
A little more juice to it now. It would seem like.
That's a hell of a little weasel out. 15 against the 9. Jeez. Well done, sir.
Good for him.
Boom. We love your buns. We're excited about your new project, the Boomers Buns. You let everyone know when you're ready to do the great unveil location and the time of the grand opening and all that. But we did get some security camera footage of you on one of the batches with the new machinery here, and glad to see you've recovered okay. So this is, before we get it started, Jack, the machine on the left, that is one of those like a massive
mixer.
That's my dough mixer.
Yeah, and so you're just going to go check in on the dough for Boomers Buns. Your shirt, Dean. Do you know your shirt? Your shirt, Dean! Dean! Oh, you're trying not to die right now. This thing's not stopping, Dino. Oh, let's turn it off. Reach and turn it off. It's twisting him. It's lifting him off the ground.
You can't breathe.
That's
a boa constrictor now.
Getting choked out. Oh, I don't like this. Come on, stop the machine. He's got to be yelling. Someone's got to be working there with him.
Well, it's early. When you're in early, you may just be by yourself.
Oh, boy. Toof.
You're hoping that at some point, please, just shirt.
Yeah,
rip
just
or
rip
something.
shirt. Oh, it's twisting you now. You're going to lose an arm here, Dino. I'm sorry.
And it's too tight to get
Really
your
sorry.
arm.
Oh, come on. There it is. Yes, it ripped.
Ooh,
Oh.
Oh,
And there's the button right there. Yeah, just turn it off. Okay.
So
Bit of a hiccup.
that's what happens with the augers, Pinder, but you don't stop them
when they spin.
Oh, I see. You get it's a near-death experience.
Yeah, no, you're losing limb.
That was rough.
Oof. Yeah, all the guy wants to do is make some buns.
Now, why did we show this?
Oh, Boomer's Buns. We're excited about your new project.
That's the tie-in to the show. Got it.
Yeah. You got to be careful when you open.
Well, I mean, your expenses just went up. You have to buy another shirt. But next time, just button that thing up before you lean in.
I'll wear the shirt.
Hope your goddamn head was in it. Got a tasty cocktail for the weekend, fellas. Let's go.
This drink is known as one of the most difficult drinks to swallow. Originating from Japan, it's called the live fish drink. A single cup of this contains up to 200 small fish, and every one of them has to be alive. When preparing the drink, special care is taken in selecting the fish, often opting for freshly caught young shirauo or silverfish. This is because the Japanese believe that at this stage, the fish's body isn't fully developed, reducing the risk of bacteria.
Right.
Using a tall glass is customary not only for ceremonial reasons, but also to restrict the fish's movement, while also allowing for the silverfish to be visible. According to tradition, when the live fish drink enters the mouth, the customer must still feel the fish thumping in the mouth, providing not just a unique taste, but also an exciting sensory experience. After holding it a bit in your mouth, it is meant to be swallowed directly as it is. It costs around $60 per cup. The question is, would you drink one?
Tito? That's weird. They'd call that the live fish drink because I really, how do you come up with the name?
Yeah, what's the correlation there?
If people can't figure out what it is, they're not going to order it.
I'd do it. Easy.
I'd do it with you, Rhett.
Village
Do you in
Orbit?
with us?
Ready to
No, we got a couple boating
your selection of used vehicles pre-owned?
No. Rhett, no, we're going to the boats. Boats.
Yeah, you can't do that one before the boats, Jack.
We got 2 boats in a row here.
Oh, no.
No, we can clear it. Don't worry.
Yeah, look, see, you got by that first one. No sweat.
We're good, right?
Oh, boy. Jeez. Ooh. You think all the electronics are shot, or is that fine? Is that just rubber tires?
That'll singe something.
Ugh. Not ideal.
Not ideal.
So I think you probably put the other boat at 97. Would that make sense? Or 95? Get another boat. Rhett was trying to load while the waves are coming in. It's a tough one. So
I only have one boat.
Okay. We'll move from the boats to...
Oh, my God.
I mean, Christ almighty.
I love it.
Let's get to the Aussie guys.
Let's get to the Aussie guys. Nothing like camping in Australia, Dean. You got to love it, hey? Because there's nothing to worry about. Okay, maybe a snake, maybe a spider. What about robber crabs? They don't look small, Dean. Just completely taking over campsite.
It's real, then.
Yeah, it's probably not AI. It's Australia. Look at them. They're like bigger than their shoes. They're just taking over. Trying to steal your food, being jerks. 50. Not ideal.
The world's largest land-dwelling arthropod. Can weigh up to 9 pounds.
9-pound crab, Dean. 50 of them.
Known for their impressive claws.
Red, what did you do when you had all those crabs?
Shaving and shampoo.
Okay.
Let's
special shampoo, or is it?
Don't. I went along with it. Don't push it.
Can you just pick that up anywhere, or do you have to?
Yeah.
Let's go to a nice. Now, people trying to go viral by doing these dangerous jumps and tricks. What is this called? Parkour, I think, where you're jumping off the buildings and land on the other buildings and stuff.
Yeah, we do that here.
Yeah, that's right. So this is Rhett's kid. And
that is my kid.
That's
Billy Bob.
Double B, not enough velocity there, buddy. You need a little more velo.
Billy Bob, you've got the right attitude. Just
a little more velo. Now back to the Aussie campers, Dean, because
what was he wanting to do?
He's gonna land it.
Is he gonna
slide?
Slide on the top of it, or
so
it's like he's stupid.
The robber crabs left the campsite, Dean. That's the good news.
All right.
Right? Because there's 50 of them. They're gone.
They got rid of the crabs. Yeah.
Perfect. I guess Rhett was saying you just take shampoo bottle, squirt it all over the campsite.
Yeah. Cleanliness.
So then in the tent, you're like, we're safe now. Right? You see the size of that thing?
Shoveler.
That's a spider the size of a dinner plate if you need it, Dean.
Yeah.
Tourism Australia inviting you to
camp out.
Camp out, Dean. Finally, a little send off to the weekend from one of our pals on a bike. With the outfit, rain boots, plaid shirt, hipster hair, mustache. Oh,
Yeah.
such a
See
predator.
that's how I enjoy that a lot. That's better. Village Honda, huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets, over 90 units on site, and access to more than 500 more inside the dealership group. It's why Village Honda is your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They are definitely worth the trip. Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall.
Really liked that one, Pinder.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, like that drink. They got to work on the naming, but other than
No,
that.
not that Pinder Report, just the last clip.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
Just the last one.
I thought it was the fish drink you liked there.
No,
I'd do it, but
no, kind of a
You need a chaser, right? That's what I would be emphatic about. I'm not just going to do that and then be like, excuse me. Have the chaser ready. Something strong. Kill those things.
Little love for Cal Tire. Whether you're an owner-operator or have a small fleet of trucks, Cal Pro Plus is the dedicated tire program just for you. It's a free program, provides access to exclusive deals and savings, a price match guarantee, flexible financing options, preferred pricing on everything you drive, including your own family's vehicles. Additionally, they have dedicated member support. It's on hand to answer your questions, recommend and source the best tires for your application and budget. Across the network of over 260 stores now, they're going to help you with your tire program. Whatever it is you need. Cal Pro Plus. Free.
It's like your tire assistant. You got like an executive assistant just for your tires.
Because you're going to have some questions. So, like for this truck, are the compounds and what kind of tread type and all that sort of thing. Best tread and compound for the conditions you face, best pricing, monitoring inventory so they know where to get them from, prepare a quote for you. One free flat tire repair per year, annual members only deals on Bridgestone, Firestone, and others.
Deals.
And as mentioned, it is free. Go and sign up. calproplus.com, K-A-L, calproplus.com. There you have it.
It's a good deal.
Where'd long arms go? Sausage? Got to take his pills with some sausage? Is that what it was last week? Or what you told us about it?
Pills?
He says, well, yeah, I got to take my pills, but you got to have food with the pills. So he had to go and eat sausage.
He's hungry for sure because I'm hungry and it's 2 hours earlier here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hungry for sure.
Yeah.
If we could have got that, even despite the Pinder Report, still lucky to have an appetite, which is decent, I guess.
Could have changed the order up a little bit. Yeah.
What was the one we were missing? Because I feel bad.
It's okay. You'll see it Monday.
No, I actually have it now. It's another boat video. Do you want to watch that?
Oh, save it for Monday.
No, not really.
Also have a cougar Rhett would be into.
What's her name?
Monday, you'll find out.
All right.
Susan Sarandon.
Let's do the Great Clips inbox. Great Clips. Send your questions to the show. You can email them in greatclipsinbox@flamesnation.ca. Well, Great Clips, you know what Great Clips is all about. More than 4,400 hair salons throughout the U.S. and Canada. Great Clips, the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. They're locally owned and operated. They're open 7 days a week, and you get the check-in app. That's the key. That's the beauty of it all. You will see the wait time on your phone and get the haircut where you want, when you want. You can opt in as well for the Ready Next text alert. Check the box. They'll notify you when your wait time reaches 15 minutes and says, hey, come on down, buddy. We're getting ready for you. Check out all the details at greatclips.com and download the app. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Now, if Stupid were here, we could do some of these emails, but he's not. So
should we call him?
I don't know why we'd have to.
We don't. It'll just be funny.
We're doing the show.
Is he there backstage, Jack? What's going on?
No, he's gone.
Interesting. Let's give him a call.
I'll give him a call.
Number has call control. To get through.
He loves call control. He loves his call control.
What number was it? I'm just going to guess. 5?
Huh?
I don't know what the call control number was.
This number has call control. To get through, please press 1.
Oh, 1. That's an easy number. They must be busy. I don't know.
Hang on.
I want the answer machine now. What do you mean, hello? Where are you? Huh? Okay. Hi, Red.
Sausage?
Food.
No, fighting.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Shoveler?
Home Alone. Words were said. Things were thrown. Tears were. What did tears do?
Shed. Yeah.
Shed.
Yeah.
Tears were shed.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then why? I don't want to say that because people think you're serious. And
Yeah.
I dealt with
it.
Will.
It's a very serious show. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Goodness gracious.
We're in the Great Clips inbox, right? Just so you're up to speed.
Good.
Here.
Let's go.
Ready to rock?
I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Oh, come on, D. Let's go.
All right. This is from Sean. Fellas, how much of an advantage do you think it is for Colorado practicing, training, and playing 41 games at such high altitude in Denver? Do visiting teams have a hard time adjusting? They should be better conditioned than someone training at sea level all year. Rhett, maybe you could ask Sarich or Kobasu, who both played there. Did Kobasu play there?
Yeah, Chucky was there. So was Jerome McGinley.
Yeah.
And just to add a little context,
Alex
they did have the
Tangen?
best home record in the NHL this year and were mediocre away from home. So
All right.
I would
that,
say
that would build the narrative.
Yeah, there's definitely advantage, but the science. I used to argue with Hesketh about this all the time because it'd be like, I feel like shit here. Like he's like, well, scientifically, unless you're here for 3 days,
Then you get the white blood cell count up, and then this and that. Yeah,
if you're just in and out, it shouldn't make a difference. Well, it does. The air's very dry, very dry.
From Calgary, it's got dry air, even drier.
Drier.
Wow.
And I used to play in Florida. Much more dry.
Moist. Yeah. How'd that cup final go when you were in Colorado?
Not good.
Dry? Yeah.
We were not good. 8-1 game 2. I watched the highlight. I turned the puck over 14 times in that
That's
game.
a lot. Yeah.
Here,
You were
Peter
so
Forsberg.
young, Red.
Here,
You
Peter
were so young.
Forsberg. Have the puck and just take it. Stop him, Beezer. Come on.
My bees.
What are you doing?
Beast was like, this 19-year-old is killing me. This kid you got playing back here, I'm gonna murder this guy.
Doug.
Remind my wife who hates this guy.
Why?
Spinach dip all over her hair.
Doug, this is not Saskatoon. Are we in Brandon? Because I don't think we are. I think we're in Denver and we're getting it fed to us.
I can't believe
Doug.
I played in a Stanley Cup when I was 19 and no.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
that's
can.
Too dumb to know better, I guess.
On another note, Boomer, I was just talking to my kids about loving the show Fall Guy. Almost bought a truck like that a few years ago. Heather Thomas has aged well. I don't know about the fact. I'm guessing she would have, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some research on that, Dean, this afternoon if I don't just be a pro.
Yeah, might have to. Yeah, that's what it is, right? When you get older, then you start to kind of stuff that you liked when you were a kid. What would it, I mean, for you, Pinder, what would it be? Is there something that you would, as you get older, you get into your 40s and whatever, it's like, maybe making a little bit of money now, maybe something like, for me, it was the Bandit car.
Yeah.
I loved the Bandit car when I was a kid. That was, so what do you, like, what would it be?
Sports trip. Because I was always tough when I was making no money to be like, hey, I'm going to go fly somewhere and go watch. I could do it maybe once every 2 or 3 years, but like took the boys to a Blue Jays game last summer. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Love
not exactly what I was asking. It's something that nostalgic, like a item or a something
He's a
tangible.
sports dork, though. That's
Yeah. No, if I saw like a signed Hawk and Lube jersey for $200, I'd buy it now. Where before I'm like, I can't justify that.
Yeah, there'd be some. Yeah, it'd be something. It's like, this is stupid money, but
Yes.
you know. And for you, Red, go
You
back
did
and
love
buy that.
car, didn't you, Dean?
Buy that Gainer mobile.
I could have bought that.
You should have bought the Gainer.
Yeah. Talk about a win.
Yeah. Talk about things that have slipped through your fingers.
I don't like things. I'm not a big thingsy guy.
No.
I don't have
an experienced guy.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's if you have to do one big trip or travel somewhere? Where's the place you'd love to go to?
I'm with you. I love sports trips. I would do a lot of sports trips. Any sports trip I find cool. Not playing of the sport. Like I don't want to do a golf trip per se, but if I did a golf fishing trip, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Watching a sport, a different sport, I'd be okay with. I love the ocean. I would sail. I'd hop on a sailboat and cruise the world or the oceans. The ocean.
This summer, over the course of like a month and a half, you have Euro, which is essentially a mini World Cup taking place, and the Summer Olympics. If you are into sports trips,
Olympics,
Europe this summer.
I don't know why, but the Olympics seem like too much.
Could be. I think you'd probably just pick your spots, pick a couple sports, and then
like
don't go
Euro
for the full month. Pick a week, go hit it.
Euro, I could absolutely do. Would love it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't know what it's like. I've never been to Olympics. I don't want to run from pavilion to pavilion with 800,000 people.
It feels overwhelming, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? At the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of events don't care about. We'll watch on TV.
Yeah. It still
Like
would be
oval
like that's one of
Viking
those things.
or
If you could ever
whatever
watch a
the
100-meter dash,
speed
that would
track
just be
like.
oh. He's crapping out over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want us to ask you
Be
what
like-
you would do, Dean?
No.
What would you?
Well, it's an old car for sure.
No, not at all.
Old car. It's a truck that you didn't buy for him.
Hey, this from Scott.
Scotty.
Okay, fellas. I'm not a huge believer in Wolf.
Oh.
My opinion is he won't become much more than a NHL bottom half starter, but still a number one in the bottom half of the league. What would his trade value be? Could we get a high first round pick from a team that believes he would turn into something? Goalies are definitely voodoo, and look at the teams in the playoffs recently that have gone far with second tier goalies that no one has heard of. That's from Scott.
Scott, nobody knows what any of these goalies are when they're Dustin Wolf's
So
age, and he's accomplished more at this age than a lot of Hall of
But the other
Famers. Which sounds contradictory, but
at the end of his little question there, doesn't he kind of shoot himself in the foot? Where he says
he does. Yeah.
he thinks he's going to be Wolf's going to be a second tier starter,
Yeah.
And
and
then
then
he talks
there's
about
a bunch of
teams
teams
that
that
are
do really well with.
Yeah. I just think maybe just some positive vibes would be a good idea. He's played how many games? What did we say? Like
25.
8, 10, 12? Let's maybe give it time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the rush to be at a conclusion about what he is or isn't. I don't know. Is there a bonus mark for
I don't
saying,
think so.
about 8 years ago I said this? Like, no, like let him play.
Yeah.
He's got much better numbers than Markstrom since he got up here post deadline. Like it's not a shot at Markstrom. It's just underlining it's been a shitty environment to ask someone to play 9, 10, 2.5 in.
Yeah. And this on the chat. Scott is an idiot. Oh, well, I mean, he has his opinion. It's,
King, you don't want to hear what Scott's been saying about you.
You don't want to know? Yeah, you don't want to know. I can't remember. Well, this came in. Obviously, I didn't then. When I was back in Calgary for the holidays, my parents gifted me some Barn Burner Blonde and Sutter 6 shooters from
Nice.
Origin. It's all long gone now. I live out of province, except for one can of Barn Burner Blonde. I need to decide the special occasion with which to drink it. I'm thinking when the Oilers get eliminated, or maybe if the Flames move up in the draft lottery, but open to other suggestions you have. Thanks. That's from Rob.
Tuesday is next week. If the Flames win the draft lottery, you absolutely have to drink it there and celebrate. That's only a 5% chance. So that means 95% chance you wait till the Oilers are eliminated. And then there's also the chance that they win the cup and you still have this thing. It's we don't want that last outcome. A or B are both great.
Yeah.
A's best, B's okay, C is horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. If you're hoping to celebrate with the draft lottery, there's a really good chance it's just going to be a very anticlimactic.
There's a 95% chance you're not going to crack that beer.
It's not going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
And I fear that if you're waiting for the Oilers to be eliminated, I mean, you're
months even.
Which is not to say that the Barn Burner Blonde goes badly. It goes bad. It's got real good shelf life, but
I'd say just buy some more.
Yeah, just get more shipped to you.
Friday.
International shipping, we'll ship it anywhere. Originbrewing.ca, go check it out, figure it out. It can happen. This is from Tyler. Hey, Boom, love the show, especially love the Great Clips Inbox segment each week. I wanted to congratulate you on winning the world title at WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Watching you defeat Seth Rollins with the Boom Cavs splash was exciting. I'm curious as when you'll be making your first title defense. Well, you know, it's you want to be one of those champions. You want to be a fighting champion, right? But
don't fight to lose.
Everyone wants to run to be the man. You got to beat the man. Right now, the man is just basking in the glory of being the champ.
Get the belt. Yeah.
There. Yeah. Got the gold, baby. That'll do it for the old Great Clips inbox. You can get in touch with the show. You can also you can get into the chat if you'd like as well during the process, but it's a lot easier, a lot more of a guarantee to get into the Great Clips inbox if you email the Great Clips inbox. The email address, greatclipsinbox@flamesnation.ca. Go to greatclips.com, download the Great Clips app. It's the way to do it. You'll see, you get there, it's got you turn on your location. There. Oh, what's the wait time there? Oh, okay. What about here? What about here? Perfect. Dink. You're in line. If you want the ready next alert, they'll let you know when it's time to get on there.
Hey, Boomer, we'll be ready in 15 minutes. Get your booty down here.
Yeah, that is how that goes.
So whenever the shoveler starts up that OnlyFans, Rhett just starts crawling the internet over there.
I don't know, because she's not even in town, right? She's with the other one in Philadelphia for the hockey thing. Yeah. So he has internet trouble and then just leaves the show.
Which, to be fair, is better than him fighting through that. But you just wish you didn't have the internet trouble.
Well, you wonder, being that it's 2 years
pulls
we've
the cord and he says, "Oh yeah, I got internet trouble. It's Friday, Thursday."
2 years in, probably have some reliable internet by now. Maybe I don't know.
It's hell of a set. It's probably the only thing he's missing.
Betway bets. With Betway, you can get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. You create a new account, then that QR code, that's what that thing is called, that weird boxy thing there. It's like, what is that thing? Is that like
alien?
Am I supposed to be seeing something there? Is it a cat? No, it's a QR code. And you take your cellular telephone, your mobile, and you take a picture of it, and it's going to take you right to the website. And then you can redeem your bonus. Place a bet with Betway. And if it loses, you'll get a refund up to $200, which you can then use again to bet on your favorite sports. This offer only available outside of Ontario. Here's what we got for you. Now, I mentioned the shot totals for the Vancouver Canucks. Again, let's do this. In game 1, Vancouver, well, just the 5 games. Vancouver, total shots in the game. 21, 18, 12, 21, and 20. They have UC Saros for a total saves for tonight at 23.5. I'm going to take the under because they've not yet had 24 or more shots.
That's wild.
So minus 111, it's not a huge pay, but feels safe. And these games, as far as being close, they've been very close. There was an empty net goal in game 1. Games 3, 4, and 5 were all 1-goal games. Yes, for an empty netter, plus 175. Feel pretty, I like that one. That feels like a good one tonight because it's been low event, and so to go for a goal scorer or a over under for goals, it feels hard. But I do like that one out of the Betway bets today.
If the Canucks are going to do it, Dino, it's going to be their stars, and the stars that particularly are playing well. That's Quinn Hughes and nobody else at this point. Plus 275 for 2 points. I will jump on that. They might only get 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Quinn's in on both of them. And I like Wyatt Johnston to continue the parade. Has he been a stud or what? 2+ points, plus 300. Big game hunting, but why not on a Friday? Betway bets of the day.
There you go. Again, that with if you get the new account, scan the QR code and you will get that bonus. The free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Get it on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever it is, but bet the responsible way. Yep. With our buddies at Betway, the official gaming partner of Barn Burner. So yes, we've got a game 7 on Saturday, a couple 6s tonight, maybe a game 7 Sunday, and then by the time we get in here next week, we're going to get revving all up for round number 2.
Draft lottery Tuesday night.
Draft
And we do have a
lottery.
debut and a premiere this afternoon on Flames Nation's YouTube as well.
1 p.m.,
Yeah.
which again, depending on it's the internet, it's podcast, we get that. But if you are a live viewer, 1 p.m. Friday today, playoff primer for the Calgary Wranglers. Mike Page and Pike. Pike, Mike. You know, this kind of works in there. They've put together a little special for you, as yes, you had mentioned it, for the second straight year. Coachella Valley and the Wranglers are gonna do this. They're gonna go head to head for supremacy and glory in the American Hockey League. So coming up at 1 p.m. if you're watching live, less than an hour. And regardless, if you're watching, you can just go to the Flames Nation YouTube page and check it out for yourself. So
Get primed.
job. Yeah, thanks to Mike and
Firebirds,
Paige
right?
and Pike for getting that together. Because there is, you start looking around, like you got Wolf, you got Coronado, you got Pelche. There's a lot of players who have had a taste this year in the NHL that are on that team and could be a big part of the future moving forward of the Flames. So
Seasoning,
cool.
Dean.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And also big shout out to our boy Jackie, who helped put that thing together. As it premieres in less than an hour.
And RJ.
And Arginator.
Jack and RJ, the strength behind this show.
There are 2 hard workers on the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And us.
And then there's us. So have a great it's
red.
You want me to hit Jack? Yeah, hit the
Yeah, you're good.
See you, buddies.